Good day everyone. So for this video of pre-calculus, we will tackle the next conic section, which is all about ellipse. But before that, may I remind you for our learning objectives to define what is an ellipse and name the different parts and properties of it. We will also write the equation, transform the standard equation of an ellipse into its general format, and vice versa. Also, don't forget that all these objectives is based on the DepEd competency of defining an ellipse and determining its standard equation and general format. So for the first video, we will talk about the different parts of an ellipse or what we call its properties. These properties are important for us to know what is the general equation, what is the orientation, and how we can come up with its different graph. First is the center. The center is the point in the middle of the ellipse or midpoint of an ellipse. It is often or always labeled as center C with coordinates of h, k, just like in a circle. Okay? As we can see on the figure, it is in the middle, just like in the circle. Second property is what we call the major axis. Just like in a Cartesian coordinate plane, we have two axes. The first one is the major axis, which is the longest axis of the ellipse. Don't be confused that because the orientation of the major axis will depend on how we look or how is the equation is written. So always remember that it is the longest axis that passes through the center. Okay? And here's the figure. It has a length of 2a, where a has a value. As we go along on our lesson, you will know how to get the value of that a. Next one is the minor axis. The minor axis is the opposite or not totally opposite, but it is the shortest axis or diameter of our ellipse. And it also passes through the center. Technically, the intersection of minor and major axis is the center. And don't forget that the minor axis will oppose the orientation of our ellipse. If the major axis is vertical, our minor axis will be horizontal. And if the major axis is horizontal, your minor axis will become vertical. After the axis or axis, we have the figure. So as we can see here, we have 2b, or the length is b units times 2. Okay? So later you will also see the value of b that we have. So we have already the two axes, the major and the minor axis. We can now proceed to the next one, which is all about the points. The first points that we have is what we call the foci. The foci is the reference points that help to draw the ellipse. It also dictates how thick or how thin, how big or how small is the ellipse that we draw or that we graph. It is represented by variable f sub 1 and f sub 2. Okay? And it lies on the major axis. Always remember that the foci is together with your major axis. It is not the endpoints, but rather it is lying on the major axis. Just like on the figure, we label this as f sub 2 and f sub 1, the foci or the focus. Okay? Then we have another, what we call this one, point, which is what we call the vertex. Vertex is the points or the endpoints of our major axis. It is the intersection of the ellipse and the major axis. It is being labeled or represented by v sub 1 and v sub 2. So siya yung nasa dulong part ng ating major axis. And this is the vertices lying on our, or endpoints of our major axis. And then, if you have the vertices for your major axis, we also have what we call the co-vertices. The co-vertices are the intersection of the minor axis and the ellipse. It is the endpoints of our minor axis, often represented by W sub 1 and W sub 2. Okay? On the figure, it is on the upper part and lower part because this is a horizontal ellipse. But if the orientation of your ellipse becomes vertical, it will be becoming a horizontal minor axis. So, those are your properties. Don't forget the different properties because on the next video, we will try to solve the different properties. But before that, let us identify the parts of an ellipse given a triangle. So when I say triangle, we have to form a triangle from an ellipse. But how? Okay, first is, in this unit, we will represent the distance of the points with different variables. At ano-ano yung mga variables na yon? The first variables that we will use is the variable that we use are capital letter C for the center with H and K as their coordinates, the vertex, the focus, and so on and so forth. But for distances, we will use small or lowercase letters A, B, and C. Ano yung A, B, and C na yon? A stands for the distance between the center and the vertex. So, may value yung A na yan, which is for the distance of A on the vertex and the center. Number 2 is the variable B. The variable B, lowercase letter, stands for the distance between the center and the co-vertex. Okay? So, and lastly, we have C, variable C, which stands for the distance between the center and the foci. As we can see here on the previous slides also, that the distance of the major axis, this one, is equal to 2b because center to one co-vertex is b units and another one is also b. So that is equal to 2b technically. And for the major axis, the distance is what we call 2a because one vertex to the center is a plus another a, that is equal to 2a. Now, on the part of a triangle, remember that based on the figure, small elliptical shape on the left side of your screen, the length of half of the major axis, this part, which is your A, okay, in this part, it is equal, STEM people, to the distance between the co-vertex and the foci. Okay? In large part, this is your co-vertex 1, this is your center, and this is your foci, F1. From W1 to F sub 1, we can see that it is the length of your half of the major axis. So we can label this as A. We can label this as B. Okay, this is B. You will use color green instead. So B for the green and then C for your foci distance or focal distance. So as we can see, we form a triangle and it is a right triangle. And based on the Pythagorean identity that twice a square of the one leg plus square of the other leg is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. And based on this triangle, our hypotenuse is your variable A. So the variable A is equal to B squared plus C squared. But don't forget, we need to square it. So, if you are talking about or looking for the value of A only, we need to get the square root of the sum of B squared and C squared. So don't forget this one because this is very helpful in finding the different properties or parts of a circle. So let us try using or applying this one. Okay, let's practice. Please read carefully the question. If the focal distance of an ellipse, focal distance is your variable C, is 6 units and half of its minor axis is 8 units, what is the distance from the center of the ellipse? Okay, I will give you time to pause. Then we will show the solution for example number 1. Okay, going back. As we can see on the given, the focal distance is 6 units. The focal distance is the distance from the center of and one of the foci. So on the triangle on the right side of your screen, it is the color blue line. So the color blue line is 6 units. And our half of the major axis, that's the color green, center to one of the co-vertices is 8 units. We are trying to find for the length of our hypotenuse or the distance between the vertex and the center. So nawawala yung variable A. And according to the Pythagorean theorem, we have it is A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared. So B squared is equal to 8 and C squared as B is equal to 8, C is equal to 6. So we will have 8 squared plus 6 squared, and that is resulting into 64 plus 36, and the answer is 100. And therefore, if we get the square root of 100, A is equal to 10. So therefore, the distance of the vertex, one of the vertices, is equal to 10 units from the center. Okay? For number 2, find the distance from the center of an ellipse to one of its vertices if the focal distance this time is 5 units and the distance from the center of one of the co-vertices is 12 units. I will give you time to pause before we give the solution of number 2. And the solution for number 2, we have the distance of 5 units as our focal distance. Again, it's the color blue line on the lower part. That's the center to the foci. That is 5 units. And the distance of the co-vertices is, or one of the co-vertex is 12 units. So again, applying the Pythagorean identity, we have A squared is equal to 12 squared plus 5 squared. It is equal to 144 plus 25, and the answer is 169. Again, you will get the square root of both sides to get the value of A. So if you get the square root of 169, the answer is 13 units. Okay? And that is the distance of one of the vertex to our center. Or technically, it is the distance between the co-vertex and the foci. Okay? Number 3, we will have find the focal distance of an ellipse. This time, if the length of the major axis and the minor axis are 58 units and 40 units respectively. Okay? But this time, you can see the given is the major and the minor axis length. Okay? Again, if 2A is equal to our major axis, that is 58 units, and 2B is equal to 40 units on our minor axis, we can say that the value of our A is 29 units, while the value of our B is 20 units. Okay? We can put that on a triangle, but this time, if A is our distance between the center and one of the vertices, so we can write it on the hypotenuse, which is 29. And yung B, the variable B, is on the 20 unit side, or the color green line. So we are looking this time for the variable C. Applying the Pythagorean identity, we will have 29 is equal to 20 squared. So square both sides, both numbers or values. And then the missing part is the variable C. So let us simplify first. 29 squared is equal to 841 is equal to 400 plus C squared. We cannot find the variable C without transposing 400 to the left side. That's 841 minus 400 is equal to C squared. Then 441 is equal to C squared. Again, the same process. Get the square root. C is equal to the square root of 441, and square root of 441 is equal to 21 units. So therefore, the variable C, or our focal distance this time is 21 units. Okay? So, example number 4. We are going to try this time the focal distance of an ellipse, or we are trying to find for the focal distance of an ellipse if the major and minor axes are 30 and 24 this time. Okay? So you can pause for a while before we proceed in solving for example number 4. For example number 4, we can see that the value or the distance or length of the major axis is 30 units. So it is represented by the length 2A, while 2B is for the 24 units, where A is equal to 15 and your B is equal to 12. Again, A is your half of your major axis and B is half of your minor axis. So major axis, again, half is the red line, that is 15 units, and B, which is half of your major axis, which is the green line, which is 12. We are trying again to find for the value of C. Now, if you have questioning, sir, what if we are trying to find for the value of B? It's the same process, just change the distance or the Pythagorean identity, missing the value of the variable B. But for now, let us solve for the value of C, which is 15 squared is equal to 12 squared plus C squared. So 15 squared, again, still simplify the exponent. So 15 squared is equal to 225. And then 12 squared is equal to 144. Transpose 144 to the left side. That's 144 negative C squared. And then 225 minus 144 is equal to 81. Then square root of 81 is equal to 9. Therefore, the distance between one of the foci is 9 units to the center. Okay? And that's it for this video. I will leave you again with a saying from Benjamin Franklin. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, but involve me and I learn. Mathematics is not a subject just to watch or just to listen. It is a subject to be involved with. Try to explore even though you are wrong on your answers. Remember, you will learn with your mistakes. Bye and thank you. See you on our next video.